Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Tianan and today I'm filming the Love Hearts book tag. This tag was originally created by What's Jess Reading, so I will leave the link to that video down below for you guys. I personally heard about this one through Rebecca from Rebecca Books. I wasn't actually tagged in that video, but she did mention me, and so I decided that what better day to sit down and film this tag than Valentine's Day, which is what it is today. So happy Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day to all of you lovely people out there. I hope you have an amazing day. I do have the list of questions on my phone, so if you see me looking at that, that is why. But what I really love about this tag is that all the questions are actually inspired by the Love Heart sweets. If you don't know, Love Hearts are little candies and they have little questions or sentences or words on them, and Jess has actually used those words to create the questions, which is really fun and unique. So without further ado, let's just get into the first question. Number one is, I love you. What is your all-time favourite romance book? If you guys know me, you know that I don't really read any romance books. I do read fantasy romance, which is definitely a genre that I enjoy. For this question, I am going to give you guys one of my all-time favourite books. It's definitely one that I would consider a favourite fantasy romance for me, and that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I did enjoy the first one, but this one blew my mind. It's very steamy, so please be aware of that before you dive into this. It is a new adult series, and I believe that most people tend to refer to this as YA. It's definitely not YA. The smut in this book is just next level. It's a very extreme jump from the first book, so just so you're aware, this is very heavy on the smut. Like I said though, because it's a fantasy romance and there are other elements to it and romance isn't the sole focus, I think that that's what makes me love this book so much. It is definitely one of the main aspects of the book. This one especially shows us the development of a relationship between certain characters, and it just does such a good job of doing that. I feel so connected to both of them. I did really enjoy the smut scenes, I'm not gonna lie, and if you are still sleeping on this series and this book in particular, then what are you doing? Please pick it up. It's so good and you definitely won't regret it. Question number two is, be happy. What is a book that makes you incredibly happy every time you read it? I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to write down your answer for me in the comments. Please do let me know what you think my answer is going to be for this. I feel like I talk about this book way too much, but as you guys know, it is my favourite book of all time, so of course it's going to make me happy every time I read it, and that is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Like I've just mentioned, this is my favourite book of all time. It's one that I turn to year after year whenever I'm feeling down and just want to dive back into a world that I'm familiar with, and one that I know will make me feel a lot happier. I do turn to this one. If you don't know, this is a very fun adventure story. We do follow a hobbit named Bilbo Baggins, and one day he gets roped into going on a dangerous adventure with Gandalf the Wizard and a company of 13 dwarves. The aim of this adventure is to defeat the dragon Smaug, who has taken over Erebor where the dwarves actually live, and so they are desperate to reclaim their homeland, but they need the help of a burglar, and that's where our main character Bilbo Baggins comes in. This is such an amazing book filled with poems and songs and also illustrations, so it is just an amazing book all around. You get so many different elements in this. You also get the amazing adventure story and you get the sense of kinship that comes from that. This is a book that I will never stop recommending. I feel like it's one that everyone should read at least once, and it is definitely a book that just makes me the absolute happiest. The question for number 3 is, date me. A book character that you would date. I'm going to be recycling my answer here, but I would choose Rhys from the ACOTAR series. I fell in love with Rhys in the first book, even though he's not as prominent in there, but in this one my love for him was solidified. I obsessed over him for quite a bit after reading this book, and to be honest I still do, and Rhys is the first character that came to mind, so yeah, a very solid answer for that one. Question number 4 is, text me. Would you date a non-reader? If you don't know, I do have a boyfriend. His name is Tom and he does not read at all, so the answer to that is yes, I would date a non-reader. I am dating a non-reader. It really doesn't bother me too much, to be honest with you. I would like it if he gave it a go sometime. I know he has tried with a few different books, but he just never seems to fully click with it. But he did actually buy me the books in the Dexter series the other week, and I feel like these are ones that he would really enjoy, so I'm gonna read them first, and then if I feel like he will like them, I will probably try and force him to read them, or the first book at least. So who knows, hopefully that'll happen, but I'm not gonna force him to do something if he doesn't want to. Question number 5 is, dream on. What's your favourite romantic setting in romance books, and what would be your ideal date? Oh, this is a difficult one. Again, I'm not really a romance reader, but I do love fantasy fantasy romance, so any romance involving fae I'm here for. It's something that I've noticed recently that I do tend to enjoy a lot more than just your regular romance. And then my ideal date, I feel like I'm pretty easy, to be honest with you. Tom and I don't really go on dates. We just sort of go places and hang out. I mean, we're with each other like 24/7, so it's kind of natural for us at the minute to just want to spend time together and just be together. But I do love when we go to the arcade in Llandudno. There is a little arcade there on the pier, and it's just the most fun that we have. We each take a £20 note, change them into coins, and then just go to town, and we try our best to get some of the prizes, and I always have such a good time when we do that. Another one is just going to the cinema. We do have the Cineworld Unlimited card, so we can go whenever we want, we can see whatever films we want, and we do also get stuff at a discounted price, so like the popcorn and the drinks, and that is just always a really nice experience. Tom and I both share a massive love for film, and so being able to go to the cinema together and watch a film and then talk about it afterwards, it's just the best thing. So yeah, those two are the ones that stand out to me the most. But to be honest, I do love a good night in with a takeaway and a few ciders as well. As long as I get to spend time with Tom, I honestly don't mind what we do. Normally though, it does involve food, games or films. So yeah, I am just going to say that my ideal date would include all three of those elements. Number 6, we have Kiss Me. Your favourite romantic scene from a book. I'm really trying not to repeat my answers here, guys, but I just don't think you can top this book in terms of the romance, the plot, the fantasy elements. Everything is just absolutely amazing. And this isn't any scene in particular, it's just the fact that throughout this book you see the romance develop and you see how that affects both the characters that are involved, and it's just the best thing ever. I am trying to think of another one off the top of my head though, and actually I did really enjoy the romantic scenes in this book, which is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. This is a paranormal murder mystery set in New Orleans in the 1800s, and this was actually one of my favourite books of last year. It has such a good plot, the mystery element is fantastic, but one of my favourite aspects in this was actually the romance. Number 7 is Let's Party. Which 3 book characters would you invite to a party and why? So the first character that I would invite to my party would be Laszlo Strange from Strange the Dreamer. Again, this is one of my favourite books of all time. I'm desperately wanting to reread it soon. It's the most magical, lyrical book, and it had such a profound effect on me that I'm still thinking about it to this day. I feel like Laszlo would be such an interesting character to be able to sit down and talk to. I feel like he would just be a fountain of knowledge. I feel like you could talk to him all day and never get bored. He seems very aware of different people and cultures as well, which would be very fascinating to talk to him about and maybe get some information on Weep, which is a mythical lost city, and I feel like that would just be the best time. The second character I would like to invite would be Cersei from the book Cersei by Madeline Miller. Cersei is a Greek goddess, but she was actually cast away to a lonely island called Aiaia. I would love to invite Cersei because I feel like her life story is just so interesting. She has met so many of the Greek gods that I'm very interested in. She's met so many of the Greek heroes that I'm also interested in, and she is also a witch, so it would be very, very interesting to sit down and talk about witchcraft and how she has been able to help certain heroes with that witchcraft. And I just feel like it would be the best experience to be able to sit down and chat to a Greek god, especially a female god. And then lastly, I'm having a bit of a hard time deciding. I would love to chat to everyone from Tolkien's universe. I am just holding up this book because that's the only book I have to hand. I definitely would love to sit down and chat to Bilbo Baggins. He would be such an amazing storyteller. He would have so much information to share with me. I feel like he'd be the type of person I could sit down and listen to talk all day. If not Bilbo, definitely Gandalf the Grey. Another character that would have spent so much time in Middle-earth with the different races of Middle-earth and also battling the evil forces at work. So I feel like Gandalf would be such an interesting character to sit down and talk to. I am just going to list off a couple more people that I would absolutely love to talk to from this world. That being Aragorn, of course, one of my favourite characters. Frodo is an obvious choice with him being the ring bearer. I really would like to talk to him about his experience with the ring. And then the last one I think I'll mention is actually Galadriel. Again, I feel like she'd just be such an interesting character to talk to because she's been around for years. Obviously the elves are immortal. She's seen so many different ages of Middle-earth, and it would just be fascinating to hear her talk about all the history and what she's been up to during that time. So yeah, a lot of characters from this world. Sorry about that, I just can't decide. I guess it would just be whoever was free on the day. I would love to come to spend an evening with me. Number 8 is You Rock, a romance book you would recommend to everyone. I'm so sorry that I've basically only talked about my 2 favourite books in this video, but once again I feel like I'm going to have to mention mention A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. Definitely not classed as a romance book specifically, but for me at least, this is the one I'd be drawn to the most. I feel like the series as a whole is just so good. Again, you get so invested in the characters and their relationships with each other, and yeah, you will have such a good time reading this one, so I definitely recommend this if you haven't guessed that already. And then the last question is Be Mine. What is a book that you really want to read / own? I have so many books that I want to read that it would be impossible for me to give you a straight answer now. I'm definitely trying to expand my reading this year, and so I definitely will be looking at a lot of different books. Definitely more literary fiction, and I believe Japanese translated fiction as well, because those types of books really do stand out to me, and I feel like they are ones that I am going to really enjoy. In regards to a book that I really want to own, I'm going to have to say the Facsimile edition of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. These are books that I've wanted to own for the longest time, but they are so expensive. One day I'm hoping I can own them, but for now I am just going to be dreaming about them every single day. There was also a set by Juniper Books that were absolutely stunning, but I don't think they're doing them anymore. At least they weren't on the website the last time I checked, so again, if I could get my hands on them, I would love to. I do collect multiple editions of Tolkien's books. They just mean the absolute world to me, and so I do want to have a very big collection and a very big variety of those books. But yeah, those are the books that I would really love to own eventually. Right, that is it for today's video, guys. I'm sorry that my answers were quite repetitive, but as I said at the start, I'm not a romance reader, and so I can only recommend you books that I have on my shelves and that I feel like do have fantastic romantic elements in them. I really do hope you got something out of this video at least. I really loved filming this. I haven't done a tag in a while, and I always feel like it's nice to sit down and film one once in a while. Thank you so much to Rebecca for mentioning me in her video. I did watch that video as soon as it was posted, and that's why I decided to get up today and film my version for you guys. It is Valentine's Day after all, and I feel like it would be nice if I could get this video up today for you, but we'll see. Either way, I hope you had an amazing day, whether you were celebrating with a loved one or celebrating by yourself. Just remember, it's only another day, and if you're by yourself, you are probably saving a substantial amount of money, so there's always a bright side to everything. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular, but if you want to film this tag, then please do so. Do let me know down in the comments if you do decide to film this tag, and I will definitely check it out. Also, please don't forget to check out Jess's original video. I will leave it down in the description box for you, and it is definitely worth the watch. Please don't forget to click the like button if you liked this video, as well as the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. It truly does mean the world to me, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!